Hello, everybody. Welcome to the review. It is 7:49 p.m. Came out of theater not too long ago after watching the comic of age comedy period piece titled "Are You There, God Is Me, Margaret?" A book of the same name written by Judy Blume, and this film stars Rachel McAdams, Abby Ryder Fortson, and Kathy Bates. Interestingly enough, I've always been a huge fan of coming of age stories, as it allows me to create a sense of reminiscence in terms of remembering how it was for me growing up, well, being born in 1981 and growing and experiencing, well, pretty much the totality of the 80s and the 90s into 2000s, etc. This story takes place in 1970s, where you have the main character in Margaret Ann Simon, after receiving the news that her family is being uprooted from New York to New Jersey after her father receives a promotion. Here she is, 11-year-old is attempting to understand her place in the world when it comes to spirituality, adolescence, puberty, friends, her family, change, etc. All those necessary components within our lives that essentially is a part of our growing pains. This is coming from her perspective. And I will say, interestingly enough, when you think about it, most coming of age storylines have always centered around the male point of view, the male perspective. And this is really different since it's focusing more on how a young woman who is 11 is experiencing traumatic ideals and complications in her point of view, in her perspective. And I thought that was a very clever way of doing something different that hadn't really been introduced in cinema or even television series. The acting, I've always loved Rachel McAdams and Kathy Bates. Rachel McAdams, aside from being exquisitely pleasant on the eyes, she is absolutely a beautiful woman. She is remarkably talented as an actress too. She has the capability of being able to convey the true necessary emotions in terms of sadness, confusion, happiness, naivety, anger, and she does it with such flawless ease that it makes me wonder how she hasn't won an Academy Award, because she is just that mesmerizing in this film. And one of my favorite moments, I'm not going to get into any type of detailed spoilers, but it's when everything comes to a head with involving her family, her husband's family, just everything that you could possibly imagine going wrong is happening, and she is just able to express herself with saying very few words, and you see all of the emotion in her face and eyes. And that to me is the true essence of what it means to be a talented actress. You can't say enough about Kathy Bates. She is just a legend in and of herself, and has provided remarkable and memorable performances throughout her career. And she plays the dry-witted grandmother who is well-meaning and wants to do whatever it takes to make sure that her granddaughter's life is as easy and as less complicated as possible. And she does a remarkable job too. To me, she has essentially the best lines and the one-liners in when it comes to her reactions in terms of uh, communicating with her daughter-in-law and her son. Is Words can't express just exactly what she meant to this performance and what she meant to this film just in totality. Without her and Rachel McAdams, I don't believe that this story would have even had a chance in terms of being as endearing and heartwarming as it is. I found myself just wonderfully fascinated with how this story allowed me to reminisce in ways that I didn't think was possible. It just reminded me of how simple life was for me being born in 1981, where I'm thinking about when it came to wanting to visit my friends and being a part of secret clubs. You had to get on your bike or walk to your friend's house, call them prior, talk to their parents, go outside, go into the tree house and have a secret meeting where you're talking about the different girls you have a crush on, playing on monkey bars, or you go into these slumber parties and having 2 minutes in heaven or spin the bottle. It's a great way to to transform in a way of experiencing a simple way of living all over again. And the fact that Abby Ryder Fortson does an amazing job as playing a naive, conflicted girl who is just desperately wanted to understand her place in the world. And she has just a wonderful presence when it comes to making her character believable. And I will say this though, on top of the obvious of what I've stated, the fact that it does present a unique sense of a religious message in terms of you have you have Margaret, who is being raised in a family who, for example, her mother was raised a devout Christian. her father born into a strict Jewish family, and there's that conflict that is she's attempting to more or less pray to God and ask God, why can't I feel you? God, why aren't you doing this for me? Why is it that I'm having trouble feeling you, and I'm going to all these different religious meetings and I'm still not coming to grips with exactly why your presence isn't near me when I need it the most? And it's not preachy in a manner of shoving it down your throat. It's basically offering the questions that we all have experienced and asked at some point or another. And that is also just another way of being able to create a story that provides those meaningful questions and possible answers to anyone who is potentially seeking a sense of solace in terms of finding some peace within their own existence. And I loved every bit of this film. It just provided a true sense of comfort and being able to experience the true wonderment of escapism within the 1970s structure. Wonderful music, great acting, clever writing, fantastic humor, all balanced symmetrically with one another, and I cannot recommend this film enough. It's great for children. Aside from a few innuendos here and there, it's something that I believe everybody can relate to. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and give Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, a 2 thumbs up, a 10 out of 10. I do recommend it. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about it. If you have watched it, be on the lookout for my next review. It's going to be on the Covenant most likely, and I will see you all again. Take care and peace out.